أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome you all to our class today, Madrasa course, and inshallah we'll be doing chapter 7, Surah Al-Adiyat. Surah Al-Adiyat, the racers. So as you can see, you have the picture of the racers here, and those are the horses. And look at the mess that they're creating. So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ صُبْحًا فَأَثَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا فَوَسَطْنَ بِهِ جَمْعًا إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لِرَبِّهِ لَكَنُودٌ وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بُعْثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ وَحُصِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ إِنَّ رَبَّهُمْ بِهِمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ لَخَبِيرٌ. This is a very interesting surah, and inshallah, let's see what it is telling us about. In the name of Allah, the most kind, the most merciful, by the charging horses panting hard. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking an oath. Is taking an oath on the horses. And by the way, I had mentioned before in our previous chapters that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can take an oath on any of his creations, but for a human being, the permission is that he can take oath only on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By the way, why do we actually take an oath? People take oath or they swear by something to draw attention towards what they are telling, or to say, in other words, that what they're telling next is going to be of something very important. So, or that they are telling the truth. So, these are the reasons why people swear by something. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by the charging horses here. Not normal horses. These horses are perfect racers. They race or run very, I mean, their racing is very, very strong. So when they strike on the earth and move forward, we can see sparks. So by the charging horses panting hard, and even their breath is very in the state of panting. So by the charging horses panting hard, striking sparks of fire by the flashing hooves, raiding at full gallop in the early dawn, raising a trail of dust behind them. So you can just imagine lots of horses. They are charging towards something. For example, they are going on a battle and they are running towards the enemy now. They are striking very hard on the ground, so much so that we can see sparks, and their breath is very hard, and it is the time of early dawn, and there is a lot of dust behind them, and plunging into the middle of the enemy. And now they are right in front of their enemy, eye to eye. So at this point, everybody would obviously want to know what is happening next. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a complete attention now. And then He reveals to us the most critical thing that He wants to tell us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, man is indeed ungrateful to his Lord, and indeed he bears witness to that fact. Truly he is passionate in his love for wealth. Does he not know that when the contents of the graves are poured out, and the secrets of the breasts are made known. Indeed, their Lord will know everything about them on that day. Let's go ahead and see. The surah was revealed in Makkah. It consists of 11 verses. The surah can be divided into 3 sections for the purpose of study. The first is a series of oaths by horses in a state of war, engaging in intense activity. That is from verses 1 to 5. As I explained to you, it was early dawn, and you have best horses that are in the state of war. They're going ahead in a battle. They are on the battleground and moving towards the enemy. These verses describe horses in battle in a vivid style. Horses are noble. They are brave and faithful animals. If trained, they can patiently perform many useful tasks for man. They can travel under dangerous conditions, carry their masters through the raging battles, cross rivers, and climb mountains. Yes, horses obey their masters even in the most difficult situations. But the question is, humans are arrogant with their Lord all the time. Yeah. So the second section consists of 3 verses. These 3 verses state that man is ungrateful to Allah and loves wealth with passion. These are the verses 6 to 8. The truth is that in our time we need the energy to guard ourselves against the condition mentioned in these verses. A man can collect a lot of wealth. The fact is he cannot take any of it with him when he dies. It will not help him in the least when he has to stand before Allah to be judged. So yes, many people, they care only about the money and they just want to collect a lot of wealth, and they care less about or remember less about that one day they would be standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third section is a reminder to such people of the day of resurrection, when what they hide, even from themselves, will be open to all, and particularly to Allah, who is Al-Khabir. That is the one who knows about everything and everyone. So on day of judgment, nothing will be hidden from Allah, as we all know, and everyone will be paid back for what they did. Yes, they will be paid back for what good they did, and they will also be paid back for their evil deeds. So that was Surah Al-Adiyat. Exercises. Complete the following sentences. Man is indeed dash to his Lord. Man is indeed ungrateful to his Lord. Truly, he is passionate in his dash for wealth, love for wealth. Answer these questions. Where was the surah revealed? The surah was revealed in Makkah. How many verses does it contain? I think it contains 11 verses. And what does Allah swear by in Surat Al-Adiyat? Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by the horses, those in the battle in this surah. Why horses? Because horses at that time, those days when the surah was revealed, they were actually equivalent to today's expensive cars like Lamborghini or the Ferrari, which everyone would desire to have. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by them and swears by their breath, by their striking of hooves, and shows how they behave to their master even during the tough times. What does the surah teach us? All right, what is it teaching us? Well, the surah is definitely teaching us how to behave with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any situation, how to have our relationship uh, steadfast with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's also teaching us that we, no matter how much money we have, no matter how much wealth we acquire, the day of judgment is going to happen, and we need to uh, use that wealth for the good purpose, which would help us on that day. Because we cannot take all that wealth with us in our graves, and neither will that help us in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except when we put it to good use by living on this earth and by helping others, while living on this earth and helping others. Yes. All right, so that ends the chapter, and inshallah, try to memorize the surah. All these surahs are quite important, very small. It will help you when you, during your salah, it will help you to concentrate more if you're trying to memorize surahs and trying to recite them in your salah. Inshallah. So we'll end the class here now. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.